Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you real soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you, and I think you'll have to listen, because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day. My beginning will be as bright as the sun around, and it feels so right. It's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart. Doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now I know. Baby, baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me it's right. When you came to me, oh, I knew it's you, yeah, boy.
Where is Cody?
Hey family, how is everybody doing? Welcome, come on in. It is 3:02 Central Time. You guys come on in. Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, we're here live, always YouTube, and we're on Petition. We're going to start doing our TikTok at the same time. I'm going to get a little bit better. I am still under the weather. This has been crazy, but I'm feeling a lot better. Like my chest is not hurting as much. We did test. I do not have COVID. My husband tests. He do not have COVID, but he's on his way to the doctor because they want to see him to see if he's got the flu, which I told him, you don't have to go to the doctor to see you got the flu. If you ain't got COVID, you got the flu. Simple. But you're going to make this $500 to $5,000 bill. Go to the doctor. Let them tell you you got the flu. And give you. Anyway, so he's on his way. And he'll be back. But I just wanted to let you guys know. I just heard about this case. We're going to talk about it. The young lad, his name is Tyre. He passed away, you guys. I guess this happened. Let me gather it because I was looking it up. And the sad thing about it is, I'm gonna tell you guys something, and I wasn't shocked when it was told to me. I mean, I was just told this no more than 30 minutes ago. I wasn't watching it. I wasn't paying attention. Like I said, I've been sick. But I guess this kid named Tyre, I think he's between 26 and 29 years of age. I can't tell you exactly how old he was because I read up on it so quick. Let me find it real quick. Tyre. All right, there. I mean, if you put Tyre, it'll come up really quick. So 2 of the fire department staff is on leave, and then you've got let's just go over it. 2 Memphis, Tennessee fire department employees have been relieved of duty, so they've been fired in connection with the death. A black man who died days after a traffic stop. It was on January the 7th. And Memphis Fire Department spokesman says, we are involved in the initial patient care of Nichols. She did not go into further details. This is an ongoing investigation and we cannot comment any further. Nichols died on January the 10th, 3 days after he was stopped by the Memphis police for reckless driving. So this kid, he was 29 years of age. He was reckless driving. I don't know, maybe speeding or, you know what I'm saying, on his phone, not paying attention or something. Reckless driving, I don't know what reckless driving is. Reckless driving, not paying attention or something. So they stopped him. Reckless driving. 29 years of age. He says, fled the scene of a traffic stop. So he fled the scene, but eventually was taken into custody after what Memphis police say were 2 confrontations with this officers. Nicholson had complained of shortness of breath following his arrest and was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Authorities said his family said the police beat him so badly that he became unrecognizable. Unrecognizable. I looked at the person and he didn't look like the person that I seen on the picture. So I just could imagine. So you got Ben Crump, one of the family's attorneys. Ben Crump is on the case, you guys. During a news conference Monday, Nichols was tased, pepper sprayed, restrained during the incident, part of which occurred nearly 80 yards from where he lived at. So right next to his mama's house and his stepfather. Crump said that in the body camera footage, Nichols could be heard calling out for his mother. This is crazy. Yet again, we're seeing evidence of what's happening to black and brown people from simple traffic stops. He said, you should not be killed because of a simple traffic stop. Nichols' mother, her name is Ro Vaughn Wales, told reporters during the Monday's news conference that her son didn't do drugs or carry a gun. She questioned why police felt the need to violently arrest him. He had my name tattooed on his arm, and that made me very proud. That's what the mother said. Because most kids don't put their mother's name on them, she said. The Memphis Police Department announced last week it had concluded its administrative investigation into Nichols' death, saying it had fired 5 police officers. Now, here's the thing. One of them's name is Tadarius Bean, black. Demetrius Haley, black. Emmett Martin III, black. Desmond Miles Jr., black. And Justin Smith, black. Like Nichols, all of the dismissed officers are black. They're making sure that they let us know that. I'm just letting you guys know. In a statement posted on Twitter, Memphis Police Chief C.J. Davis said that the officers had violently manipulated police department policies, including excessive They've already said, they're already letting you know. They violated the policy. They excessively use force and did not intervene and do no render aid to this kid. I'm gonna tell you guys something, and I've seen it. I've seen it on this channel. I've seen it through some of you guys. I sometimes I say something, and I get a little, somebody gets a little mad with me or nasty with me. But I mean, we sometimes, and I think it's because of how we were raised, what we seen, and what was put in our thinking, that we question our own people. Like, you need to tell if you see, Thaddeus running away as a slave. You need to tell Master such and such about Thaddeus. And so people be like, what are you talking about, SP? It's a condition that is embedded in Black people, that instead of helping the community grow and accept African American people as people, we do a lot of the damage ourselves. So when we get into certain positions, we feel like we have to act like them, or especially if they are around. Because on the George Floyd situation, I told you guys, everybody thought, and you guys, y'all was around when it all went down. I said one of the officers were African. Now, SP, all of them white. No, they not. I can hear the voice of an African American officer. Then you guys found out there was an African American officer there. And he got on the force so he could help. But what normally happens, they get in those positions, and to keep those positions, they have to sometimes show more force so that they can be accepted or be respected, that they're not showing you no favoritism. I had this job, and it was in aircraft. And as soon as I got there on the job, you guys, I'm serious. As soon as I got there on this job, there was a lead. Okay, so there's my manager, and he was Caucasian. But there was a Black woman. She was the lead of the people in the room. And she was a Black lead. So I'm thinking, okay, I didn't think nothing. Okay, first, let me stop. Let me tell you how I got the job. So I had to go through this program in the school, and you got to pass this test. Well, I had already the credentials, but then when I went through the school, there was a Black teacher. It was a guy. And I was the only Black student in the class. And there was all of the Caucasian people in the class. And I couldn't understand the measurements. I couldn't get the measurements. I couldn't understand, it ain't simple as what you think when you're dealing with blueprint. You got water lines, you got base lines, you got all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to know your they have these things I don't know why I want to call them clippers or whatever. They're not clippers, but calibers. And you got to know certain measurements or whatever. And I couldn't understand it because I never messed with it or anything. So anyway, the black teacher, the black man, he comes to me before I got the job. He comes to me, and you know what he says to me? He says, I want you to know, you better go and read your books, because I'm not going to just let you pass. I didn't ask you to let me pass. So I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, this man got it out for me. And just because I'm the only black. So I started being friends with the Caucasian people, the women, and they're like, we're having lunch with them today. You want to come? And I'm like, no. They was like, oh, we're going to pass because we're having lunch with him and he's buying us lunch and all this other stuff. I just knew I wasn't going to pass. So I was like, forget it. So they're eating lunch with him and they're going, and it's test time. So I ran into another guy at the facility, and he said, hey, I'll help you. I'll study with you. So before we had the test, he says, don't worry. Here's my number. Call me up. I know the answers. I just took the test. I said, okay. So I go over there to his house, and I'm like, what's the answer? And he's like, well, let's drink. And I said, I don't drink. And he was like, now, come on now. I said, look, I'm not finna let you in my panties just to pass this test. We're not doing that. See what I'm saying? I'm serious. He was like, well, I tried. He said, I could tell you what the answer is. The answer is just safety. Put your gloves on. Put your glasses on. And you can screw up. You don't have to know the measurements. I did not know that. So I was like, okay. So I took the test. As soon as I got there, I put my gloves on, put my glasses on, and I went to try to figure it out, put it all together wrong or whatever. But I passed. Okay? The Caucasian girls, they passed too. But they didn't have their gloves on or anything. They passed because they went out to lunch with him. So he made it hard for me, but in all reality, at the end of the day, it kept me safe. You know what I'm saying? As far as I got all my limbs and everything, my eyeballs are still here and everything. And I kept the job for a very long time. But as soon as I got into the job, this is what I was trying to tell you guys. As soon as I got into the job, I had a Caucasian boss, but the lead, she was a black woman, big, thick black woman. And I thought, okay, no problem. And she comes up to me and she says, and I was one of the better workers. And so every day after it was time to go home, I would do a same routine. The first thing I would do is I would take off all my lab coat and all my stuff. I would go to the bathroom. I would wash my hands. I would wash my face. I would put my gloves back on. So all of that would be clean. And then I would go and I would sweep and clean up my area. And I would clock out and go home. So she comes to me and she tells me, this is what you're going to do. And I said, what? She says, we're going to put certain people to do certain jobs. And I said, okay, I'm fine with that. She said, so I need you to sweep the whole plant. And so I said, by myself? She says, yes, by yourself. I said, well, how long am I going to do this? She says, I said a week and then somebody else is going to do it or whatever. She says, no, you're going to do it. You're going to do this. And she asked me, did I hear her? And I said, I heard you. And she said, are you going to do it? And I was just like, mm-mm. I just did it like this. Mm-mm. She says, now, that's called insubordination. You're telling me you're not going to do what I assigned you to do. Is that what you're telling me? And I'm going to tell you guys what I told her. She said, are you telling me no? I said, I'm not telling you no. I'm telling you, hell to the no. I'm not doing it. Okay? So she went to the office and she told on me. She said, was it in your job description? It's in my job description. But that's what I told her. So she went to the master. And she told him what I said. So they brought me in. They had her sitting there too. And so the lady was telling, so the man was like, Sonny, did you tell her you was not going to clean the whole plant? You know, did you tell her you wasn't going to do this? Okay. I said, look, let me tell you what happened. Okay. I'm going to tell you what happened. She came to me. She told me that I would be sweeping up the whole plant by myself. And I told her, okay. And I told her, how long will I be doing this? And she told me, until whenever. It's just, you just going to keep doing it. Nobody else is going to do it. You're going to do it. And I just shook my head. She says, and then he says, I almost can remember the woman's name. She made life HE double hockey stick for me. But she was like, well, you didn't say no. You said HE double hockey stick no. And I just looked at her and it was like, no. Now, I did that on purpose because I wanted her to be so mad so she could just be furious when she went in there. And she was like, you're going to do it. I told you to do it. And he said, you cannot have her do it by herself. And you cannot just have her do it and just until whenever. Like, you're singling her out. And you can't do that. And so she was making sure that the boss knew if, and you know what? They were like, this is not discriminating because she's black. She's not discriminating against USP because she's black. Man, I don't know what it was. She was discriminating against me to keep her position so she would treat me bad. So anyway, you guys, so these 5 gentlemen, bootlicking, these 5 gentlemen, I had this brought up and somebody called in. So let me try to see if I can find it again. What happened? So sometimes when you see stuff like this is the reason why, because society makes people, when they get into that position, they don't forget who they are. They don't forget who they are. They know that, you know, that's how that happened. So let me finish going on. So Memphis Fire Department spokesman, the employees who were not identified were involved in the initial patient care of Nichols. She did not go into further details. This is an ongoing investigation and we cannot comment any further. Nichols died on January the 10th, 3 days after he was stopped by the Memphis police for reckless driving. The 29-year-old fled the scene of the traffic stop, but eventually was taken into custody after what Memphis police say were two confrontations. Nichols had complained of shortness of breath following his arrest and was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Authorities said his family said the police beat him so badly that he became unrecognizable. Attorney Ben Crump, one of the family's attorney, told reporters during a news conference Monday that Nichols was tased, pepper sprayed, and restrained during the incident, part of which occurred nearly 80 yards from where he lived and his mother and stepfather. Crump said that the body camera footage of the incident, Nichols could be heard calling out for his mother. Yes, again, we're seeing evidence of what happens to black and brown people from simple traffic stops. He said you should not be killed because of a simple traffic stop. Nichols' mother told reporters during Monday news conference that her son didn't do drugs or carry a gun. She questioned why police felt the need to violently arrest him. He had my name tattooed on his arm, and that, let's see here, she was proud of that because most kids do not put their mother's name on them. The Memphis Police Department announced last week it had concluded its administrative investigation into Nichols' death, saying it had fired 5 officers: Tadarius, Demetrius, Emmett, Desmond Jr., and Justin. Like Nichols, all of them dismissed officers are black. In the statement posted on Twitter, Memphis Police CJ said the officers had violently manipulated police department policies, including excessive use of force, duty to intervene, and duty to render aid. The Memphis Police Department is committed to protecting and defending the rights of every citizen in our city. Davis said in her statement that the nature of the incident is not a reflection of the good work that their officers perform with integrity every day. It's unfreaking believable. Addition, the Shelby County District Attorney, I hadn't even seen this, a statement understood the reasonable request from the public to view the video of Nichols' death. The office said it was working to determine how quickly it could release the footage. They're saying they're promising to be transparent, and they're going to show you this. You know why they're going to show it to you? Now, let me tell you something. Because it's 5 black officers, okay? That's why they're going to show it to you. If it was opposite, you'd be fighting to get that video. But you know what? I don't care if they're black, brown, pink, purple, green, or whatever. I'm tired of people killing their kids. It doesn't make no sense. I don't care if you're an officer. I don't care if you're fire department. I don't care if you're a nurse. I don't care what you are. You know. They said that this kid loved skateboard and taking pictures and all this. Our office is committed to transparency and understand the reasonable requests. However, we must ensure we able the law and ethics. That's why they're going to do that. Unbelievable. They are preparing for the fallout when the video is posted. Hold on. I'm sorry. I had to spit that out. I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know where my Kleenex is at. Oh. I know I had a phone call a minute ago, and I wish they'd call back. Anyway, who are you going to be mad at? I need to see you guys comment because I don't see a comment. Who you guys going to be mad at? The family saw it yesterday. Well, they'd seen it Monday. They say it's so bad that the mother only watched 1 minute and it's 3 minutes of it. This boy was crying, screaming. What did I do? He just was asking the question, what did I do? And they're beating him like he stole something, like he killed somebody. But here's the thing, you guys. You guys didn't even get upset when, what's the guy named? Craig gets out of a car, pulls up to a kid named Sensei in Ohio, shoots him in the broad daylight. Nobody say a word. But you want to get mad now. Okay, I'll rest. This is SP.
Hey, SP, it's me again, Miss Val.
Yeah, what's going on?
They're talking about Tyre Nichols' boy. Yeah, the mother on Monday, she said she couldn't watch that video. She had to get out of there.
Right.
They say it's worse than Rodney King and George Floyd. You see the picture of him in the bed at the hospital. I didn't recognize it was the same person either.
Oh wow.
This is really bad. Hey, there are officials there in Memphis. They're scared of what God says. They're going to release the video, but today they're sure they're going to back out some of it. Once it's not redacting it, but they're going to do something to where everything's not shown. The public don't want that. They want to see everything, but they're afraid all hell is going to break out worse than George Floyd and Rodney King because they're sick of this. The cops are black, and this is why they're doing that. And I mean, people can get upset about it or whatever, but they didn't do that with George Floyd. You didn't fire the cops immediately. You didn't fire them because when other black men are killed by these white officers, which I don't care if you're a white officer, black officer, Asian officer, you need to be fired, not put on administrative leave. Especially if there is a video showing you beating these young men mercilessly. Well,
they didn't say they're on administrative leave. They said that they are fired.
They're fired. Yeah, they're fired. But the white boys don't get fired like that is what I'm saying. They can get mad at me. That's fine.
Yeah, they get administrative leave, paid leave.
Paid leave. This is what I'm saying. But the black boys, you got fired, which that's good. But when the black boys get fired, so should the white cops too.
Yeah.
Because they're cops and they should live by a different standard. But the police and the justice system needs to change and quit letting these whites get off and they can sit in the office and get paid, or they go home and get paid while this person is getting buried in the grave. So when you fire the black officer, fire the white officers too. There should be same standard for the black and white, but we don't have the same type of justice. And that's the bad part about it. Yeah, them black officers be fired, and hey, if they gonna nail them to the cross, they probably get the death penalty.
Well, they need to nail them to the cross. They need to nail them to the cross because they are an embarrassing. I wonder, do they got sons?
Probably so.
And you know what? I looked at them and I'm like, you know what? I remember I got stopped one time and it was a black officer stopped me. And I didn't think nothing of it. And the only thing I did was I did a California, stop, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, he threw my license in the street in front of my kids and everything. And I mean, he treated me like I was like, oh my God, in front of my children. I mean, I've been in front of a black officer twice in front of my kids, and both times they have treated me so terrible. I started getting smart.
Yeah, see, what I do, when you disrespect me, I don't respect officer, but when you cross that line and disrespect me, and you're Kansas, I let them know. Call your sergeant, get your sergeant here now. And then my car is recording all the way around. Call your sergeant here. I need your sergeant, sir. And I'm going to wait for him. I said, I do not play. Just like me and you worked at an aircraft company, they told me to sweep the whole plant. I told them, that's not my job description. And I was the only black woman there. Wasn't no black supervisor or nothing. And I told him, I'm not going to do that. That's not my job description. I'm here for aircraft cameras. And my boss, he was the owner of the company. He said, that is not her job description. I was the only black female, and there was 2 black boys in the back, but they back there playing and stuff. I would do my job. I was there. I'd sit in the middle of the plant, and I'd save them from getting killed from a killer in that plant. I told them, y'all better watch that cat. He's taking pain out of here. He's doing such and such thing. I went and had surgery, gallbladder surgery. When I come back, that kid he had killed this manager of his apartment in Temecula and set him in the desert. They took over his reservation and everything. When I came back to work, my boss said, you kept seeing, watch him. He would want to go to my friend's Odie's house, and Odie was in a wheelchair. I said, don't let him come to your house. You got your 3 girls there and your wife. You're in a wheelchair. I said, don't let that man, he's distinguished to come to your house. Do not let him something that's up with him. He had killed somebody. And my boss, I got $1,000 bonus. The rest of them got $500. I laughed. I said, but I'm not tattletale, but I don't back down. I do not cancel that it's going to fight you to the end, especially when you're wrong.
But you know what? Like I expect certain things out of certain people in groups of people or something. But then when you see the people treating your children worse than the people that you expected to,
Yeah.
what do you do?
I raised hell. Even my oldest daughter.
I mean, you can't even say nothing. People be like, I mean, it ain't no white black thing right now we're talking about. We're not talking about a white black thing. This is black on black.
Anywhere. Yeah, this is pitiful because it makes us look like, oh, well, they're doing the same thing, but they're gonna nail them to the cross. It's a thing of cops versus people. This young 29-year-old should not be in.
Oh, you think it's cops?
I think it's what's.
You think it's blue against the world?
It's the world because it's doctors as well. I've had to check them over treatment. Oh, well, what do you want for pain? I said, don't give my daughter no more damn pain medicine. She's here. She was having a problem. She needed surgery. Well, what do you want for pain? I said, hold up. I said, you get the chief of staff down here now. Don't touch her. Don't put nothing in IV. Get him down here. No, I raised hell. And she'll tell you, I had chief of staff. I said, get that doctor away from my daughter. You think she's in here for pain medicine? She has something that has ruptured. Whatever that cyst was in her, they did surgery. I told that doctor, I said, I don't want him in her room. And I sit there. I had to drive with 80 miles to get it because I was at my other daughter's house. But I'm going to raise hell with you over my kids. I'm going to raise hell with you over my grandkids, especially when you come with that arrogant attitude. I don't care what color you is. Don't address me as get out the car. Officer, what's the problem? What did I do? And hey, you go a different route, get a sergeant out here immediately because I don't trust you. I don't feel safe.
Right.
I say, I've never had one problem with a highway patrol, but I didn't have a problem. My passenger, he pulled me over in my daughter's car. And this girl, I was giving her a ride back to the house. I had my seatbelt on. I was messing with my hair. I said, hold up. This is the officer you're talking about. He just stopped us. I said, now, if he said you didn't have your seatbelt on, you're over there fumbling around. I said, I'll put your ass out on the freeway and you walk. I said, because you're not going to get me killed. Now, he just said you didn't have your seatbelt on. If you didn't put it on and shut your damn mouth before you get put out. He said, ma'am, well, thanks. I was just I said, I understand. I said, but she's wrong. Because he didn't come address me like that. He just pulled me over and said, she didn't have her seatbelt on. He was watching. I said, well, it wasn't me. He says, no, it wasn't. He said, well, thank you. You have a good day. Because, see, I addressed her. She going off on the officer, and I'm the driver. Right. You're not going to get me out. Shut your damn mouth, young chick. I said, you better learn how to get along with these people. It's not biting and bunking down. But he came to the car with respect, and I respected him. But she gonna go off on it. I say, you get out this car on the freeway, and I will make you walk.
Right. So.
But you got these black officers. They got to go with this code blue, and they think, oh, we can get away with it. Let's get.
So, what do you think? Why do you think that they beat this kid?
Trying to be like the undercover KKK out in the blue uniform, like the white officers that's been doing it for years and getting away with it, and slaps on the hand, 5 to 10 years, kill a man in Texas because she went to the wrong time, she gets 10 years. They figured they're going to get that. Now you're going to get the book through it, too. Watch.
Well, I went down there to Memphis, and I was amazed that they were running. African Americans was running a lot of stuff down. I mean, it was black, fire department, black police. They were running the casino. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was weird to me to see the dominancy in the position. I mean, it was just, everybody looked like me. You know what I'm saying? And they were professionally acting too, like professional, and I thought, wow. But I had heard about Memphis was really bad.
They're off the hook right now. They're off the chain. And after this here, these rappers are getting killed. It's a lot of killing in Chicago, Memphis. I mean, heck, they're almost as bad as LA. As a matter of fact, they're probably about worse right about now. So they're scared to release that video because it's going to set it off. And anybody
who are you going to get mad at because they're all black?
Because they figured that, hey, a lot of people are looking at it the way we're looking at it. Oh, they're going to hang these black guys over. We're going to go after everybody.
They are.
That's how the mentality of the black man is thinking.
Who are you going to be mad at?
Yeah, exactly. But it's going to cause all hell. Everybody's going to be in trouble. Because these little idiots don't think, hey, okay, but these brothers done wrong. Yeah, they're black, but they were wrong too. They figured they could get away like the white guy. But they're going to take it out on everybody. These idiots that's out there with their weed, their guns and stuff, and their pants hanging down, they ain't got sense to try to look and see. They did wrong. Let's hold them accountable. Okay, the next time if the white police department does it, or white officer, you better do the same thing that you done to these black boys. Fire their behinds too. Especially if it's on video. Even if it's not, you got these body cameras that taxpayers have paid for. You should release those cameras, and you look at those cameras and don't try to sweep it under the rug, and you don't put them on no paid leave. Fire their behinds like you did these officers. I'm not mad that they fired. They should be fired. But I'm not mad because I'm mad because they are black. But I'm looking at, you did this man wrong. You killed this man. I don't care if you're black or white, but everybody should get the same punishment is what I'm mad about. So if they think and they think, okay, but the black mind that is not smart enough, these young cats that's out there, they're going to start taking it out on everybody, cops, businesses, and everything else. Because they think, oh, they're messing up our brothers. They fired them. Not knowing, hey, they not looking at the big picture. You're going to kill a young black man.
So what I'm saying is, so here's 5 black men beat this black kid and beat him to death, and people are mad and they want to see the video. But here you have a child named Sensei in Ohio that a white man drove up, got out of his truck, put his mask on, shot this kid 4 or 5 times. A 13-year-old got back in his truck and went to his mama's house and went to work. Nobody don't say nothing.
And I don't understand.
Nobody don't say nothing.
I don't understand why. I mean,
I can tell you why. Because this is a white man and ain't nobody saying anything. But now you got 5 black men that done beat somebody. Everybody want to see video. Why nobody want to see the video with Sensei?
Yeah, is there a video?
Here's the thing. Is it self-defense if you pull up in your truck and shoot somebody 4 or 5 times while they got their hand up? Is that self-defense? That's the question.
He's in a weapon himself. He's in a 3,000-pound truck. The boy hadn't done a thing. You could have drove on down the road, leave that little kid alone. This baby just made into teenage years, 13 years old. Come on, the grandson just made 14. I mean, you pull up in a truck, you in a weapon yourself. But you get out, you just want to kill a black kid. And I don't understand why the uproar is not more exposed out there. Why not protest about this baby?
So what I'm saying is we as people, we get very upset to want justice when we're seeing black on black crime. We want to nail them too. Like,
yeah, I do. When my niece was shot in the head at Locke High School, the guy asked me, he's a known activist here in California, but we had to go from the hospital at a rally for her because my nephew had committed suicide. So we had 2 deaths within a week. And I told him, I said, we want to get upset when the police kill our young. But when our own kill our young, we should be just as upset about it. When you went through a school, at Locke High School, and you shoot a 15-year-old in the head, and she's on the ground, I get there, and I can see the hole in her head, and this baby reaching up to the sky. Do you think I can get that? This is a horrible way for these kids to have to live. And then he was going to shoot all 3 of my nieces that day. I said, so, I get mad at any of them because they're running through town, they're killing up our young, blacks on black crime, and I can't stand that. That irks me even as much as the police because it's not being stopped. So long as they kill up each other, everybody's sitting back and happy about it. No, oh, well, it was another black kid killed. Oh, well, but when it gets to their area, when is it going to start getting to their area? I don't want a white on white crime. No, I don't want no kid killed. But it's just, swept under the rug, which they did get him. A white guy testified because he ran and jumped over this white man's car. He came to court. He said he had the gun, and he gunned down the most innocent one. This girl was so innocent. I told her, I said, but the shoe fit well. She looks down the shoes. She said, Auntie, my shoes fit. She didn't know them saying, but I laughed about that every now and then. I said, this baby was 15 years old. I said, you take her life? I said, everybody should be upset. And the news media made me mad. Well, she was at the wrong place. No, this baby wasn't at the wrong place. She was at school getting her education like she's supposed to be. That's not the wrong place or the wrong time. So let's get it straight. I mean, they pulled the video. I was angry about that. Now, don't say they was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Now, if they was at someplace robbing somebody or not at school, ditching, okay, you can say that. But this child was at school where she was supposed to be. How is that the wrong place at the wrong time? When people at church praising God, how is that the wrong place at the wrong time? When a gunman come in there white and you take him to get him hamburger, this mess is going to get out of control. And the people in Memphis already see it because they say they're afraid to release. You need to find some of the videos. They say this is going to be bad. So either which way it go, yeah, they're black cops, but some of these youngsters don't see it that way. They're going to act up anyway. It's a reason for them to get out and steal. Not look at the circumstances and say, hey, every cop should be fired immediately. Not wait and not put them on paid leave. The Justice Department need to get involved because even the police go to their union. Yeah, but this was excessive force because they were black cops. How many white cops? Because I don't know if there's more cops or not. I know the 5 black ones have been fired.
Right.
I want to know how many cops were there.
There must have been more people there because there was the fire department. They let go 2 people too, and they didn't even render no help.
Yeah. So what all this really going on?
So how many people watched this happen? You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Was there a sergeant on the scene? Did he try to intervene? Was there some more brother officers standing around? They just laughed about it? Are they fired? Because if you're standing there and you're watching this meeting and you don't stop it or try to intervene, you're just as guilty. So you should be fired too or disciplined.
Right. And we're gonna watch this to see how it takes place. But
I pray it don't get bad. The people in Memphis keep their kids in. I mean, I know it's right to protest. Yes, this young man needs justice. That family needs justice. But this here is going to set off a time bomb because you got them say they may not be saying nothing, but you got so many other ones that has been swept under the rug. And some of these nuts, they watch this stuff and they look for a reason to get out in the street and act the fool. And that's maybe what's happened. It's not as simple as George Floyd being killed right on national TV. He called his mom.
Okay.
But I'm back in the chat. But yeah, I thought you had heard about it. That's why I called you earlier, so you could kind of hit on it. But I'm gonna get back in the chat and finish watching.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
All right. Okay. Well, somebody said Valerie is hot today. Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's going to stir up a lot because you got to think about it like this, you know. You've got 5 black officers and they doing what they basically was taught, you know. And I don't even really want to speak on it because I can't even give them a reason why. I've got a situation at my job right now where there's a resident He's black, but you can't tell he black. He look white. I mean, he bald head, but I mean he's so light. He white, but you can't tell that he black, but he is. He's black. And there's a nurse that got hired that's his ex-wife, and she's white. And it's weird because he's racist against blacks, and he's black. And there's people like that. You know what I'm saying? They just really don't. And I get it. I understand. They don't like their own people. They're racist. That's what I was just trying to share with you guys. Just because a person is of a race or a color, black is not your race. Black is the color. You know what I'm saying? And was he brought up white? Yeah. Well, I don't know how he was brought up. I mean, I wasn't there. I just know that there's two black men and they both married white women, and they cannot stand black women. They cannot stand black men, and they don't want to have anything to do with them. And I've had to deal with it, and I was like, whoa. But I mean, it's there. That's their preference. That's fine. I'm just saying, but it's more than just a preference. It's like, no, I don't want to have nothing, you know what I'm saying? And that's just the way it is. Lisa gonna say, does he know he black? Yeah, he know he black. Both of them know they black. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to tell you, sometimes when it's no matter how you were brought up, you're black, and nothing is going to change that, right? Exactly. He knows. He knows. So yeah. Anyway, you guys, I want you guys to follow this case because Valerie think it's going to go somewhere, and I don't seem to think, it's going to do too much because Ben Crump is on it. They've already said that, they mishandled the whole situation. So that tells you that, a lawsuit is coming in, and ain't nothing to really fight when they done fired the people. They didn't just give them time off. They fired them. So, I mean, it's really not too much more but to just, pay out that money because, I mean, and money ain't everything. This woman's child is gone, 29 years of age. Man, I mean, God, he had just got a job. He was working at FedEx. He was working at FedEx, y'all. He had a full-time job. You wait for your kid to grow up and learn how to become a man, and and he would come home for lunch. I'm just certain things I read. I just read it really quick. Okay, we got 7 minutes. This is SP. Hey, what's going on?
Not much. I'm glad you're feeling better.
A little better.
So yeah, I've been watching this case, and Memphis is a hotbed, so I think it might go up when the tapes are released. I think that Memphis may go up when the tape is released.
When the video's out?
Yeah, I think that when the video's out, Memphis may go up.
Well, who they gonna get mad at? Who they gonna get mad at?
They might just start taking pop shots at police officers in general.
Wow.
Because Memphis is right now is a hotbed. It is a hotbed. It's like a tinderbox just waiting for a spark to stone you. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Really?
To see it go up.
Well. You know, I for some reason I think this is 10 times worse than looking at the Shenquella video.
Well, yeah, I've been told that the video is terrible. Just what I've read and seen with the news releases and stuff, that the video is horrible. Like, horrible.
Wow, really?
Yeah, that's what they're saying, so.
Somebody's saying, I don't believe he was recklessly driving. We would like to see how, because he was saying, what did I do? What did I do?
Right. And this is what I believe has been just point blank period.
And then they tried to say that they were on a chase.
Right. But this is what I believe, because first off, all y'all were in plain clothes. You weren't even in marked units.
Oh, they was all in plain clothes?
Yeah, they were in unmarked units.
Okay.
And I believe that they felt like we can beat him and get away with it the same way the white cops beat us and get away with it. And they expected the Brotherhood to stand up for them and protect them, because most of them, or a couple of those officers, were like in like little undercover units and stuff. It makes me think that you might have gotten a mistaken identity and thought he was someone else initially, and things just got out of hand.
Oh.
And you couldn't take it back then.
They must have thought he was somebody else.
That's what I believe.
Okay. All right.
That initially they thought he was someone else. But it doesn't matter who it is, and it doesn't matter what anybody does in their life. There's no reason for anyone to get mistreated like that.
Right. Tased and stomped and spit on and beat and sucker punched and just kept beating on him. And he's like, Mom, help me, Mama, help me. What did I do? And they like,
look at his picture next to that hospital.
Oh, God.
The picture in the hospital bed.
Yeah.
You can't tell that they're the same person.
I know. And did they identify themselves?
Of course, they're going to say they did.
It's going to be a whole different story. It's going to be like they thought he was somebody else, and yeah, probably so.
I feel like that's the way they're going to come off.
And did they identify who they were and all this and what did they think he did? Did he steal or whatever? Because they always got to make a reason why we stopped him. They didn't ever even tell him why they stopped him. He was like, well, hey, what did I do?
So it's a lot, but our country has just been in bad shape. It's got so that I don't watch the news anymore. I can't even really get on even YouTube, TikTok, everywhere I see is people dying unnecessarily.
Yeah. And it just became normal.
Yes. So, I look at, we just celebrated Dr. King's birthday in the 60s. She was marching for, justice and for us not to be mistreated and abused. And here we are now, it's 2023, and we're still being mistreated and abused. even by our own.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. And we should be as mad as we are when they do it. We should be mad at these 5 gentlemen
Exactly.
for doing this. Be as mad as we would be as other if it was a different race or a different gender or whatever.
We should be equally as mad.
Equally mad.
A misuse of power.
Yeah.
It's a misuse of power.
Yeah, it is.
So
and they definitely ain't helping us by becoming police officers acting like this.
Exactly.
I don't want your help. You just knocked us back a couple of years.
Exactly. And see, we thought it was going to get swept under the rug.
Become a police officer and do the right thing.
Yeah, you just don't see that too much anymore. Unfortunately. I just was looking at a case in Texas where an elderly lady went into a grocery store and there was a $50 bill laying on the ground in the corner, and she picked it up. And I was like, oh, this is my lucky day. And 3 store workers jumped on her, choked her, had her in a headlock, all kinds of foolishness, and then called their friend, who was a police officer, on his private line and had him come up to deal with the situation.
Crazy.
So it's just like our country is just we're in a bad place right now.
Right.
We're in a bad place.
Right.
And we got to stop focusing on the color thing and just stop focusing on treating people the way people are supposed to be treated, period.
Right. They said that they comparing the video to the Rodney King video. And they saying that the Rodney King video is nowhere near
exactly.
as bad as this.
Yeah, they said this is way worse.
Oh, and that was terrible.
I was in LA when Rodney got jumped on. I was right there when the riot sprung off and everything. And I remember seeing how badly they beat him.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't even imagine how. I think that's what's another thing that's holding them up from releasing the video is just how
many hits did he get?
Right. How brutal it is.
Oh, yeah.
Even,
and then sent him to the hospital. I guess they thought he was going to live through that, and they sent him through the hospital. I don't know.
I don't know what they were even thinking.
Right.
It's just like they lost their mind.
Yeah.
I don't know if they thought their badge, their uniform was going to protect them and stand up for them or what. But
we gonna see.
But I think that personally, that them being terminated is not enough. They need to be charged.
Okay. Charged with first-degree murder.
Yeah, I would like to see them be charged.
Yes, me too.
So I'm going to get back in the chat, but
all right.
I definitely wanted to share that, and thank you for allowing me to share.
Thank you for chiming in.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, you guys. I hope they all get murder charges too, Miss Philly G. Yes, you guys, we're gonna follow this case. We're still following Sinzay. We're still following Shenquella. There's no new information on the Shenquella case. We've got cases coming up. There's gonna be court on the 27th. Cody Bixby case, you guys. We'll be talking about it come Friday. So make sure you guys come on in, chime on in. I should be feeling a lot better come Friday. So you guys, thank you guys for showing up. Put your comments in the comment section. If you want to hear about a case, you want us to talk about a case, please text it to me, call me up or whatever, and we will look at the case. We're going to get off into this stuff and we're going to start talking about it, but we're going to have full panels again on Wednesdays, you guys. That's what we're going to do on Wednesdays. So hopefully you guys will participate. All right. I'll see you guys Friday. Bye.